Son, the elderly lady spoke. Mom? Dad? We wanted to surprise you, the elderly man spoke. You feel Jimmy shifting awkwardly next to you. This is as much a surprise to him as it is to you. Let me introduce you to Wyan. You feel like a deer caught in the headlights as you look at Jimin's parent. It's a pleasure to meet you. You too, sweetheart. The lady that you now know is Jimin's mom, spoke in a soft tone. I am Mary, and this is my husband Robert. If we knew you were having a girl over, we would have called you in advance. The elderly man, Aka, Jimin's dad, spoke. Actually, Wyan lives here, Jimin confessed. Lives? Jimin's mom gasped loud. I can't believe you let a girl live with you. His dad's eyes widened, and his jaw dropped in disbelief as a surge of astonishment washed over him. His lips parted in an attempt to speak, but being overwhelmed and shocked, not a single word managed to escape his mouth. You see, Jimin flustered. I didn't know he can behave like this. He was always such a strict and emotionless CEO, but now he looks like a young boy. I guess only parents can do that to you. The elevator ding saves Jimin from needing to answer. Jack strolls into the penthouse. Hi everyone. Now that everyone is finally here, let's start dinner, Jimin's mom suggested. You all sit around the kitchen island. You take a seat between Jack and Jimin while their parents sit across from you. The table is full of delicious foods that Jimin's mom prepared, and after looking at all of it, your stomach growls. Ah, I wish there was a dining room here like at our house. Jimin's mom exhaled heavily while looking at Jimin. You know I don't like hosting guests, Mom. This kitchen island is more than enough for me, Jimin retorted back. But now you have a friend? She delicately asked Jimin about his relationship with you. I'm just temporarily living here, you replied to her. That's surprising. Despite her surprise, her warm smile illuminated her face. My son doesn't like it when someone intrudes his personal space. I don't mind having one around. Jimin interrupts his mom. Actually, I love having her around. For a few moments, no one says a word and you fall into an awkward silence. Anyway, I still think you should buy a house. His mom broke the silence. Imagine how amazing it would be to raise your kids there. Mom! Jimin let out a mortifying cry, revealing a moment of vulnerability. What? I want grandchildren. She casually shrugged her shoulders, adopting an easygoing demeanor. Wyan and I are not planning on having any kids yet. Wait, are we actually talking about our kids? Gosh. Your joy resonated internally as a triumphant shout echoed within you. A celebration that remained unspoken yet fervently felt upon hearing his words. Why did you have to say Wyan and I? It gave me butterflies in my stomach. Stop it, Mary. You are making the poor girl blush, his dad spoke up. Hearing him, you look up at him as if being caught up in the act of some theft. As your gaze collided with his dad's, you look away at the speed of light, a subtle blush coloring your cheeks, and your eyes tremble with a mix of shyness and embarrassment, revealing the depth of your self conscious emotions. You look around the table. Jimin's mom and dad seem to be having fun. Meanwhile, Jimin is very tense sitting next to you. He isn't comfortable with this conversation. I forgot how enjoyable family dinners can be, Jack speaks. That's because we rarely get together, Mary complained. That's not it. I just remember why we stopped bringing girls home. You notice the tension takes another level as Jack starts teasing. Jimin shifts uncomfortably. Not funny, Jimin shouted, his patience worn thin by the teasing finally coming to an end. Actually, it is. The expression on his face remained unfazed as he continued to tease, seemingly unaffected by the loudness of his shouting. Wine is very cute when she blushes, but when you blush, brother, it's even more fun. Jack, do you know Wine well? Mary asked. We did the internship together. Wine was one of my closest friends during the internship. Oh, closest? The way his dad said closest makes you feel like he understood it's something more. Jack was my closest friend too, and Lily. The three of us was inseparable. You clarify your relationship with Jack so that no one misunderstands. It's good that you are able to make friends during the internship. A small smile gradually appeared on his face as his doubts dissipated, replaced by the sense of clarity. You fall silent again and you catch Mary's intense gaze on you. She studies you intensely, which makes you feel extremely uncomfortable. A moment later, she sighs and speaks up looking directly at you. Jimin has been through a lot. Mom, Jimin emitted a prolonged whine tinged with a hint of frustration. I just want to make sure this girl won't hurt you like that did. He chuckled, the sound escaping him despite being completely shocked. Can't believe you actually said that word. That's the only word anyone can call her. You are probably right. Jimin smiled wide and stretching across his face as a sign of growing happiness and satisfaction. But wine isn't Morgan, Mom. She is different. I just want to make sure she won't play with my boys. I see that she got close to both of you and it worries me. You and Jack are finally getting better, and I don't want the past to repeat itself. She thinks you can do the same thing that Morgan did, and you completely understand her concerns. You have seen the relationship between both of the brothers and you know the reason behind it. You can't blame her for being protective. After all, she is a mother, and it's not like she knows you for a long time to believe you. Maybe I would be saying the same things, and if I were to be in her position. I hope you don't hurt either of my sons. Her voice carried a tone of sadness, mirroring the worry ache on her face. The combination of her somber words and the pain expression revealed the depth of her emotions. You stay quiet for a few seconds. You notice the hurt in Mary and Robert's eyes. Morgan didn't just come between the brothers, she messed up the whole family. Miss Bark, I'm not Morgan. I promise you I won't hurt any of your sons. I don't want to ruin your family bondings. You comforted her with soft, sweet tone, your words carrying a gentle warmth that comforted everyone present. Her expression softened, and a small, subtle smile gently appeared on her face, adding a touch of warmth and tenderness to her countenance. You look towards Jimin and catch him looking at you proudly, a sense of admiration and approval evident in his gaze. The rest of the dinner goes well as the subject changes to Mary's garden and business. You like Jimin's parent a lot. They are very nice, friendly, and down to earth. Nothing like what you imagine them being. As dinner ends, Jimin's parent and Jack get ready to leave. I don't consider this to be a decent dinner. You were the one to make it, Mom. That's not what I'm talking about. I want dinner in a real dining room with a normal table and good atmosphere. So tomorrow you should come over to our house. Both of you. She stressed on the last sentence, emphasizing them with deliberate elongation, drawing attention to those particular words. We did love to get to know you better, Ryan. Jimmy's dad smiled politely, his expression conveying courteousness and a reserved warmth in social interaction. I did love to spend more time with you. You politely accepted Jimmy's dad idea, not wanting to hurt anyone. Perfect. Then it's decided. See you both tomorrow. You too, Jack. As soon as everyone leaves, you let out a sigh of relief that you didn't know you were holding in. I'm sorry about that. Jimin takes your hand in his, rubbing circles on your palm to calm you down. It's okay, it's just I was so nervous and he cuts you off. Let's go. Jimin lightly pulls you towards the elevator and you follow him. Where? You inquire with a furrowed brow. What's changed with uncertainty, seeking clarity amidst the confusion? Somewhere you can relax. Relax? Jimin doesn't reply as you enter the elevator and he pushes a roof button. As the door opens, the fresh air hits your face and you take a deep breath. Instantly you feel the tension easing. Better? A little bit. Jimin leads you to the sofa that faces the city. He directs you to sit close to him and you gladly obey. Jimin's hand wraps around you as you put your head on his shoulder, inhaling the familiar scent of his cologne. Your parents are nice. They can be too nice sometimes, even kill you with a kindness. I felt that. But they don't mean any harm. They are just the way they are. I truly like them, you assured him, turning your head and looking in his eyes. Again, you put your head back on Jimin's shoulder and relax into him. I always feel so comfortable with you. Even after a hard, nerve wracking day, I love coming back into your embrace. You calmly unravel your emotions, articulating your feelings with composed sincerity as you share the depth of your heart with him. That makes two of us. I am so scared. You speak while checking yourself in the mirror to see how you're looking. What if your parents don't like me? You saw them yesterday and they liked you. Don't stress too much. Am I looking good? Am I looking fat? Or too thin? Or too bold? Is this outfit okay? Is my makeup okay? Or is it looking too much? You fire off a barrage of questions, tension evident in your hurried inquiries, each one tumbling out in rapid succession as you sought answers with urgency. Jimin gently placed his hand on your shoulders, giving a supportive shake as he conveyed reassurance, a silent gesture urging you to gather strength, have confidence in yourself. Come on, Wine, don't be too tensed about all these things. You are looking perfect. You're beautiful just the way you are, even without all this makeup. And your makeup enhances the natural allure of your already beautiful face, adding an extra touch of elegance and highlighting your features with a subtle grace. They didn't invite you to judge you, they just want to get to know you better. Isn't that the same thing? You whispered with a hushed tone, your voice barely audible. Not at all. Once more, he offered reassurance. His words are comforting anchor in times of uncertainty, providing a sense of solace and encouragement. Get ready, I will go pick up my mom's favorite cake. After she sees it, she will be the happiest person on earth. Hope that makes you feel better. His words resonated with a joyful tone intended to uplift and bring comfort, creating an atmosphere of positivity to make you feel better. Just a little bit. A smile graced your face as you couldn't resist letting go of your insecurities, a moment of liberation and relief. Jimin disappears out the door and you sit down in front of the mirror to do some final touches on your makeup. Jimin doesn't understand how important it is to me to impress his parents. I want to look my best. I want them to like me. As you finish dressing up, you hear the elevator in the living room notifying you that Jimin is back. Throwing one last glance at the mirror, you take a deep breath before exiting your room. I'm so happy you came. Jimin's mom welcomed you. You were quite persuasive, Jimin replies her. Lately, we barely see Jimin. In a soft voice, she expressed her emotions with a hint of sadness, conveying her feelings with a touch of vulnerability and melancholy. I was here last week, Jimin playfully rolled his eyes. You were locked up in your father's office discussing business. I only saw you for a couple of minutes. With a sad pout on her face, she complained to her son, expressing her grievances with a mix of disappointment and longing. I've been busy. Jimin's expression carried a weight of sadness tinged with a palpable sense of guilt that was evident in his eyes and downtown demeanor. You were always busy. Their family is so sweet, it makes me miss my parents. Jimin observed her expression gradually shifting to sadness, sensing that something might be unfolding, causing a subtle transformation in demeanor. Are you okay? I'm fine. It's just that I miss my parents. You spoke, attempting to conceal your emotions, but a careful listener could detect a subtle undertone of restraint in your voice, betraying the effort to mask what you truly felt. Mary also noticed. When was the last time you saw them? She spoke with utmost politeness, her words delivered in a soft and gentle manner, reflecting a sincere effort to convey her message and consideration. Before the internship, you should definitely go and see them soon. I probably will. You gave her a sweet smile. Jimin, we need to discuss something important, business related. You see Jimin's desk speaking while coming to us where you all are standing. You can't abandon us. In a cautionary manner, Jimin's mom issued a warning with a touch of sadness in her tone. I promise you it won't take long. Besides, we are still waiting for Jack. Jimin's dad attempted to explain to her, carefully choosing his word to prevent her from losing her temper, employing a measured and diplomatic approach. You can show why. Your garden. I'm sure she did like it. You watch the man walk away, leaving you alone with Mary. Let's go. I will show you my beautiful dahlias. They're still in bloom and they're gorgeous. You follow Mary through the garden as she proudly shows her work. You see how happy this garden makes Mary, and you can't help but smile after her every word. Jimin's parents are so friendly and sweet. I don't know why I always imagine them to be strict as Jimin himself. Mary's phone vibrates and she checks it. Jack says he will be late for dinner. Did something happen? He didn't say, but I'm sure everything is fine. Otherwise, he did mention it. Anyway, I guess we should start dinner without him. As you all settle around the table, Mary speaks up. Is this the right time to show you the photo albums with all the embarrassing photos of Jimin? Maybe after dinner? Your tone animated and filled with vibrant energy. Your gestures and expression amplify the palpable excitement in your voice. Please, no. A drawn out plaintive sound escapes Jimin. A protracted whine that carries a sense of discontent lingering in the air with a touch of melancholy. You should show Wine that photo where Jimin is running through naked in the forest. His father's word playfully dance, gently teasing him with a light-hearted tone that carries a hint of affection banter. The jests flow effortlessly, creating an atmosphere of good-natured raving and shared laughter. You can't be serious. A stunned expression takes hold of Jimin, disbelief ached across his face. It's as if the gravity of his conversation has left him in a state of profound shock. Mary and Robert fall into a laughter, and you notice a faint smile on Jimin's lip. I love their relationship. They are so sincere even though they are making fun of each other right now. Alright, I will only show those photos if you promise to get serious about this girl, Mary spoke. Maybe never is better? His words unfurled with a teasing lilt, a playful tone adding a mischievous edge to his speech. It's a verbal wink, a hint of jest that lingers in the air. She will have to see them one day. So, Jimin, how serious are you about wine? Mom, what? I'm curious. You know she's not going to leave you alone, son, so you did better answer, Jimin's dad added. Jimin seems so flustered with the conversation. That's actually so fun to watch. Wine and I are still new. Despite being visibly flustered, Jimin managed to string together a response, his words stumbling out amidst the evident disarray of his emotions. You know, I agreed to marry Robert after I knew him for only a month. When it's your soulmate, you just know. Right, Robert? His mom interrupted. Right, I knew I wanted to marry you from the moment I met you, love. Do you feel the same way about wine? That I want to marry her, Jimin questioned. That she is the girl. You are making them both awkward. In an attempt to diffuse the awkwardness, Jimin's dad spoke up, his voice breaking the uneasy silence as he observed the sheer discomfort, offering a breeze to ease the tension in the room. Nowadays, kids don't rush to get married. Actually, I don't mind getting married, but only if wine agrees. For a moment, your heart skips a beat until you notice a mischievous gleam in Jimin's eyes, saying that you understand that he is not serious. But there is something in his eyes. He truly wants to know the answer. I'll say yes when the time is right. You respond to him, your lips curl into a mischievous smile, adding a playful touch to your reply. Your words carried a mischievous tone, yet beneath the playful facade, sincerity echoed as you spoke from the depth of your heart. You will? His face, initially adorned with a playful and mischievous expression, transformed into sheer shock, catching him off guard. Promise. And I hope my son gathers his courage soon enough, Mary added. I'll do it when the time is right, and when both me and Ryan are ready for it. Jimin doesn't tear his eyes away from you as he says this. There are so many emotions in this look, and it makes your heart do a double flip. The doorbell pulls you out of your thoughts and you turn away from Jimin. I'll get it. A moment later, Mary comes back to the dinner room with Jack. I'm sorry I'm late. Something came up and I had to be there. Everything is still warm, so it's alright. Robert assured is fine. Jack takes a seat in front of you, but you instantly see that there's something different about him. He looks uneasy and he tries his best to avoid your eyes. Jack shifts in his seat for a few more minutes, not touching the food on his plate, when he finally looks up into your eyes. Wine, can I have a moment with you? Is everything alright? You notice worry in Maddie's voice and you feel the same. Yes, I just want to talk to Wine about something in private. Jack gave an assuring smile. You feel nervous as you get up from your seat and follow Jack out of the dining room. Something is definitely bothering him. What is that he wants to tell me that he couldn't say in front of his family, or that couldn't at least wait until the end of the dinner to tell me? What happened, Jack? I got a job offer, a good one. Why are you telling me this personally? You asked, your expression reflecting confusion as uncertainty clouded your thoughts. Because there is more to it. I don't understand. This job, it's in LA. Oh, you want to leave? You asked, seeking assurance, your eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and uncertainty, eager to confirm if your thoughts are correct. I do, but that's not what worries me the most. He keeps talking in riddles, his words a labyrinth of mystery, leaving you to navigate the enigmatic twists and turns of his cryptic communication. Then what is it? Your brows furrow deeper with each passing moment, a visible manifestation of the increasing confusion that clouded your expression. I realized you watch as Jack turns away from you and takes a deep breath before looking back at you. I realized I don't want to leave you, Wine. Huh? What do you mean? I have feelings for you, deeper than I dare to admit. I tried to hide them because I saw you and Jimin together. But as I decided to leave, I had to tell you about it. I want you to know. You stood there completely shocked, a stunned silence replacing your usual words as you grappled with overwhelming surprise, leaving you speechless and unsure of what to say. I don't know what to say. Will you come with me to LA, Wine? Did you actually offer me to go to LA with you? You wore a look of shock coupled with a hint of disheartenment in your eyes. This surprising revelation had left a subtle but palpable weight on your emotions. I know it's unexpected, but Jack, you abruptly cut him off, a decisive gesture in silencing his words, conveying a clear desire to put an end to this conversation. I just got my job in power corporations. I know, Jack gazed at you with a hopeful expression, yet a tinge of regret shadowed his eyes. This is too much, Jack. You spoke with a subtle tone of warning. In LA, there are a lot of companies that would want to have you. They might be even better than power corporations. Jack sighs heavily. You see how nervous he is and how much the situation bothers him. Why is this so important to you? Because you mean a lot to me, Wine. Jack swallows hard as he takes his eyes away from you to look away. You see millions of thoughts running through his head. Finally, Jack turns his gaze to you, the worry showing in his eyes. You don't have to answer me right now, but I already know my answer and it's a no. I know it's a lot to take in, but maybe just think about it. I have to explain everything to him now. I can't lead him on, but Jack is one of my closest friends. I don't want to hurt him. Look, Jack, I'll give it to you straight. I don't have any romantic feelings for you. Besides, you know I would never leave my position at power corporations. I'm sorry that I asked you. His downturned eyes glistening with unshed tears and a subtle tremor lingering in the corner of his lips, reflecting the sadness and heartache across his face. Jack walks back to the dining room, but you decide to stay behind to have a little breather. What the hell just happened? I always noticed how Jack looked at me from time to time, but I chose to pretend that I didn't notice anything. A couple of minutes pass in silence before Jimin shows up in the hallway. His eyes find you and he walks up to you. Is everything alright? You emerge from your contemplation, concealing your emotions and thoughts, responding with a composed and ordinary demeanor. Yeah, just Jack told me that he is leaving for LA. You didn't say Jimin about the proposal because you're afraid that he might feel insecure. He's trying to come out of his past and you don't want to give him a scope of overthinking. Yes, he just announced it. I can't say I'm surprised. Jack didn't really want to work at power corporations. There's an awkward pause as neither of you knows what to say next. Jimin breaks the silence. Let's go back in. Dinner's getting cold. The rest of the dinner was calm. Jack mostly talked about his new job, and his offer to you seems to have been forgotten. Later that night, you arrive back at Jimin's penthouse. I have to admit, I overheard your conversation with Jack. You see his eyes avoid direct contact, and there's a subtle downturn at the corners of his lips, betraying an unmistakable sense of guilt. You did? Your eyes widen, and a fleeting expression of surprise crosses your face as he catches you off guard, leaving you momentarily stunned. I heard that he confessed his feelings for you. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. Besides, I heard how you rejected him. I could never agree to his offer because I'm in love with someone else. Your words flowed gently in a soft voice, accompanied by a beautiful, sweet smile that lit up your face. Really? And who is that? With a playful smile, he asked the question, exuding a confidence that suggested he already knew the answer. You, of course. I love you, Park Jimin. No one has ever made me feel what you do, and I. You don't get to finish your sentence as Jimin's lips crashed against yours. He swoops you up into his arms, lifting you up from the ground.